Season 1 of Skeleton Crew has just wrapped up, and the biggest question is, was it better than the Acolyte? Absolutely yes. And we're going to definitively prove that in this video. And we're going to talk about everything that went right with this episode, everything went wrong, and does this show need a season 2? So make sure to stick around to the end to find out. And just starting off with what went well, this episode was really good. I enjoyed a lot of it. The tension in this episode was very well done, especially between Jude Law and the kids, where the irony of them knowing what's going on and the parents not, with the pointed comments, the lightsaber work, and the cliffhanger from the last episode, I thought was really well done. That seemed natural to the outside perspective, but if you know what's going on, having that insider knowledge just gave a completely different meaning, and I greatly enjoyed that. I think the writing is just phenomenal. I th for in general for this season, the writing was really well done. It's surprising that the same studio came up with the Acolyte and then came up with this because they're worlds apart. The action in this episode is really well done, and I like how even though they are kids, they still had some pretty badass moments and they were able to solve the issues on their own. And I was so worried they're going to rely on some outside help. Like the kids just need to like stall or something coincidental happens where they're rescued by some outside force. But I liked how they solved the problems. Even though the New Republic does show up, the kids are the one who got themselves through this episode, and we saw them work towards it, and I greatly enjoyed it. I am glad it was longer than the past several episodes. Jude Law, as always, is a standout. He does amazing, and all the kid actors are fantastic. Their characters are really fun to watch. I really enjoyed seeing how they've grown from the first episode to this episode, and I can honestly say I am more than likely going to watch this series again. I had tremendous fun with it.
I had a lot of fun. I was worried, even though I had been enjoying the series, that the finale felt was going to feel flat, and it wasn't the case. I really enjoyed this episode. It felt like watching ET, and I know I've said that several times now, but it really felt like just watching a part of ET, the kids on their, speeder bikes, going off on their own adventure, essentially saving their planet. And I was worried. And, it's funny, Griff and I always have this conversation. I do want to see more of Luke Skywalker, but I was worried for a moment that that would take away from this. I don't know. I just had this gut feeling. I was like, oh, Luke's going to show up, or some, legacy character is going to show up. And it didn't happen.
Thank
Sure,
God.
we got X-Wings, we got the New Republic that showed up, but they showed up, did what they needed to, and the kids were still very much the protagonists, which I really loved. And Star Wars did it again in a very good way. There was a character that I essentially hated and is one of my most beloved characters right now, and I'm talking about Fern. And Star Wars has done that several times to me now. Fern just really climbed that ladder for me. So did the rest of the kids, but none of them mean to me what Fern means. She really is the head of the class, and I really like it when a story or when a movie can switch me around like that, and she did it.
She's
Kids are
the captain.
great. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I mean, I just like this is what I'm talking about. This is what gets me smiling and hyped up. Good Star Wars content, and there was one episode that felt a little flat, but other than that, the series was great. Episode one, we weren't loving it, but after that, man, it's just I'm a fan.
I feel like if we rewatch episode 1, we would like it a lot more. And I like how in this episode there was a callback to the episode that Edward and I didn't like, which made it feel a lot more valuable to the series. One thing that I would like to point out is Wim's character arc, especially since that did come to fruition in this episode, where at the start of the series and even pretty much until this episode, he wanted to be a Jedi. But after seeing the Republic come, the X-Wing fighters, him now looking up to the X-Wing pilots in admiration, and you can kind of see that's what he wants to be now. I definitely like. I think that is a very subtle choice. It was like 3 seconds. I love character growth. I'm a sucker for it, and that is just such good character growth. But I will say, because he did it again this episode, Sith toys and toys like action figures are the dumbest shit in Star Wars. I don't care what you guys say. That's the equivalent of like getting like your local priest as an action figure. It's stupid. It's so lame. I don't get why the hell that was made. But it
I, I
makes me
I mean
laugh.
I think they think of them as like superheroes instead of like, they're, I mean, because we're looking at it like, yeah, the Jedi and the Sith essentially they're a religion, but I think that the way they're looking at it is like they're like they're Batman and Superman.
Yeah,
Um,
true,
but
true.
yeah, the kids grew on me, and I like it. I like the show. I like the way it ended. It kind of I had to rewind it a little bit, and I was like, oh
I
shit,
did a
is it
couple
over?
times.
I don't need a season two. I personally don't need a season two. Let's be honest, if this gets the viewers that they want, it probably will. But I'm good. I'm good as is.
Yeah, right now it doesn't have the viewership that they necessarily want. I think they leave room for a season two with Jod kind of just being off screen, the consequence of that and being revealed to the world. There is no like huge loose ends, like no big plot pieces. Everything else would just be kind of extra and they need to write a new story or just continue with the consequence of that end. But it's a little bit hard to focus then on the kids. I think if we get season two, I will be so happy. It's not needed, but I'll be very happy about it. And one thing I thought was very interesting is in this episode, we got a bit about Jod's backstory. I'm not able to figure out who his master is. Do any of you guys know in the comments? I've had a couple of thoughts, but I've disproven all of them. I'm not 100% certain. There's some rumors on Reddit and online where there's an unnamed, well, there's a named character in the cast on Google that hasn't shown up. That could be, but Google casting is super, super inaccurate. So huge grain of salt. But if you guys know, please let me know in the comments. And a shout out to one of our commenters on the last video for correctly guessing who the supervisor was. Very good job about that.
Yeah, shout outs to that subscriber. And also, Griff and I were talking about this, and he asked me, he's like, who do you think it is? And yeah, I just at the time of the Jedi Purge, there were 10,000 Jedi Knights spread throughout the galaxy. So I don't
I
know,
think
man. I
it's an
mean,
unnamed one.
yeah, I mean, we haven't gotten every Jedi's name, and who knows?
We probably never
But she
will, but
was,
that's
but
okay.
it was a female, and she was killed in front of him. So we know that she did not survive, or she did survive initially the Order 66, but then she was hunted down
She didn't
and
make it
killed
to
in
the New
front of him,
Republic. Yeah.
which he could be lying about. I don't
I
know,
don't
but
think so.
I
I
have no idea who she could be. We thought
first I thought it
maybe
was Bears,
Barris,
but
but no. Obviously it's not Barris, it's Old Master Luminara because she's
nope.
dead.
Can't be
Um,
Ahsoka. Can't be what's the blue-tailed one?
Ayla, no,
Yeah,
she
can't,
got murdered.
true. It's not it's not Kanan Jarrus' master. It's not Cal Kestis's master.
No. Let us know who you guys think it is. And if
Yeah.
anyone knows for sure, that would be awesome to find out. I have no clue whatsoever.
Yeah, I'm hoping we get some sort of confirmation. If not, it's not something we need, but it'd be cool. It's always fun just to get more Jedis.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, go and you haven't seen our other reviews for this show, here's a playlist for all of our other episodes for this, and you can go back and watch them in order if you want to know our full thoughts on the series. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Take care, guys.
Wim's character arc, especially in this episode where he no longer wants to be a Jedi but a Republic TIE fighter pilot, I thought was just a nice progression.
X-Wing fighter,
What'd I say?
Republic TIE fighter pilot.
That's funny.